Hello everyone, this is Chris, and I need Shulker boxes. Don't ask why, because you'll know soon enough, in probably several months from when this video goes live. And just to get an idea as to how many Shulker boxes I truly need, imagine these 3 double chests completely filled up with Shulker shells, which adds up to around about 10,000 Shulker shells. Are we gonna get that many? Are we even gonna get half as many? Who knows for sure until we actually try and going out to the end. And I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I have everything I need. I have plenty of paper and gunpowder for firework rockets. I have some extra wood. I have some saplings and stuff in case I need more wood. I have the Eyes of Ender I'm going to need. I have the books for an elytra. I have spare food. I think I have everything I need for this end expedition. And if you think getting 10,000 Shulker cells is a pretty drastic feat, then please do consider leaving a like and maybe even subscribing if you're up for it. But yeah, the other day I came out to this one village to actually excavate out the stronghold below. Because I'm already really familiar with this one seed, I figured, you know, not wasting time actually looking for it. That, and I already knew where it was. Also to turn this one skeleton mob spotter over here into an actual mob grinder over here. Alright, so let's set our spawn, and now let's put the Eyes of Ender in, which always makes some of the most satisfying noises in the game. In I go. Now, this isn't my first time tussling down with this one dragon, but it is my first time in Triple S, so it does make it a little bit special. And having realized that I completely forgot to bring glass bottles, let's take out the cages first. And there we go. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh, okay, up. Okay, now the rest of these should be relatively easy if my aim is good enough, which so far it seems as though that's the case. Alright, now just the other caged one, and then I think oh no, I just enderpearled into it. As I was saying, just the other caged one, then we should be good to go. I mean, I can at least say I hit it, and boop. And if anyone's played Minecraft before, which, let's be honest, if you're watching this video, you probably have, you know this part of the fight is relatively easy. Alright, almost there, almost there. There we go. Wasn't too hard. My first time killing the dragon on this one world. And good. Dragon fight, not too incredibly hard as you can see right here, but bringing the entire dragon population to extinction was only half the journey right here. Alright, where are we now? Where are we now? Not too bad of a spawn right here. Literally not too bad at all. We spawned on top of one of these things. Now, anyone who comes out to the end or the end cities or anything like that always knows that finding its first elytra or something like that is always some of the most trickiest bits, and then afterwards there's a city in the distance. Totally wasn't expecting to find one that quickly. Okay, it's not looking like... There's another one. There's another one just by that. And that one's too small for a ship. But you know what? Shulker boxes, Shulker shells, it's still a start. It's still a start there. You've got to be kidding. You've got to be kidding. There's another one in the distance over there too. Maybe it's just because my render distance is fairly high up, but these are some incredible odds right here. Oh, and that one in the distance has a ship. Okay, that one is immediately the first one we're heading to. Because if we can fly around these one cities, it's going to make it so much easier. And to get set elytra, I think I'm going to work from the bottom up. Probably not the best ideas, but oh well. Yeah, this is fine. This is totally fine. Just a bajillion of these little Shulker bullets all over the place. All right, gonna take cover in this one corner right here. And what do we have? Some iron right here, some gold right here. Not too bad. What do we have in here? We have diamonds. That's not too bad. Binding, no, fortune. You know, I might take it just because, you know, just to have it and not regret not taking it later on. All right, I think there's some chests and lots of Shulkers up in here. You guys are almost making me believe you expected me to come up here, and unbreaking. Okay, still not too bad. I'll still take it. You know, all this loot is great and all, but it doesn't even come close to comparing to the elytra. All right, am I gonna have a lucky shot or am I gonna underperform? Lucky shot, please. Lucky shot. There we go. There we go. Hey, and my first elytra ever inside Triple S. This is pretty cool. Gonna immediately bang someone breaking and mending on these. And now with these bad boys, the end expedition should be made much easier now. And after fully clearing out this first one, I'm only sitting at 6 Shulker shells. But like I said, always, the first one is always the most difficult one, and then afterwards it should be a little bit easier afterwards. Tiny city down, and we've already doubled the amount of Shulker shells we have. Makes me wonder how many we're gonna get from this behemoth of a city. And after desecrating this city and all its inhabitants, I only managed to get 16 extra shells. Oh, what am I getting myself into? Like, Seriously, what am I getting myself into? And so with that mindset, I took off, and then shortly after I saw two end cities, both with ships in the distance, and as I was hacking and slashing through them, killing all the inhabitants in it, I soon found two other end cities, both with ships too, and as I was flying to the third end city, I found another two in the background, and as you can see, I was very, very excited. And so after hacking and slashing all 6 of these end cities back to back to back, I still somehow only managed to get 147 shulker shells, which honestly isn't that good, but in hindsight really isn't that bad either. And I guess as long as we continually find holes like what we just did here, then we should be able to get this done relatively quickly. Oh, another end city in the distance right here. And again, so long as we find end cities at relatively decent scale like this one, we should be able to get this done fairly quickly. I wonder if word's actually gotten to these other cities in like some mad, crazy guy just going around murdering every single inhabitant. But you know, me being on every single wanted list inside these cities isn't gonna stop me from killing them all. And as luck would have it, there's another end city just over there. But after murdering all the innocent inhabitants of this current end city, I'm adding 46 shulker shells to my collection. And I don't mean to sound so gruesome when going around the end, it's just, you know, what you gotta do to get these 10,000 shulker shells, and there's another end city right next to it, and another one just back there. Why is my luck just so incredible all of a sudden? Well, that isn't until I look at Enderman. But now that I got the tall folk out of the way, let's handle these cities. I know a lot of people are going to recommend you wear full diamond or netherite armor when coming to end cities, but at least for these really big tower rooms, I'd recommend wearing the elytra here, because on Bedrock Edition, you can actually activate your elytra and deactivate the levitation thing right here. Makes for taking out this entire tower fairly easy, actually. Another 3 cities down, and I've added 90 shells to my collection. And what's even cooler is that I saw another end city in the distance over here. Make that 2, or 3, or 4, or 5. Any more? Any more just want to pop out of nowhere? No? Just 5? Alright, just 5. I wonder at what point is it going to be not exciting to find a big behemoth amount of end cities in one place. Like, I really shouldn't be asking questions this early on into the challenge, but I don't know, just thinking about the long term in this one thing. And after going through those 5, along with dozens and dozens I saw in the distance, I am now currently sitting at 571 shulker shells. And I feel like I found an infinite loop where I continually find end cities in the distance. I see that one over there, I see that one over there. There's just like end city after end city after end city on the journey I'm going on. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? I'm going to this one and then another one. It will never not be exciting at this rate. And over the next couple hours, I went and did some end city raiding on my own until I eventually had this amount of shulker shells. And we're still not even 10% of the way there. But over these couple hours, I've actually been getting lots and lots of cities back to back to back to back. And you never know, it could just start raining shulker shells from the sky or something like that. I can hope, I could wish, but sadly, doesn't look like that's gonna happen today. But today is obviously a loose term because there is no day, there is no night, there is only end. I wonder what I'm gonna start becoming a jaundice from not seeing the sun in like weeks and weeks on end. Putting my skin condition aside, let's mix things up over the next 10 end cities. And take a guess, how many shulker shells do you think I'll be getting over the next 10 end cities I'll be going to? I don't know, it's a tricky thing to guess. You get some big end cities, you get some little end cities, and you get some end cities in between. So, city 1 down, and I got 30 shells from here. I don't know what I'm looking at, but I think the shulker bullet is having a mental crisis right now. Like, come on, either hit me or disappear, come on. I'm sure that thing will figure itself out eventually. City 2, which is honestly kind of a small one, only got my count up to 40. And I doubt City 3 is gonna do much for our count. Well, what do you know, a completely tiny city only got me 2 more shells. Okay, I'm actually gonna be surprised if this city doesn't give me more than 2 shells. Fortunately, no surprises were had here. City 5 got me to this many, 6 got me up to this many, 7, 8, 9, and after 10 separate end cities, I managed to get this amount of shulker shells, which is still only a fraction of the amount of shulker shells we are going to need in the end. And after this point, I came to the realization that at the pace I was going, and the fact that I had to record separate videos in between every single one of these clips, I knew I wasn't going to be able to get this thing done in an orderly manner and in the time I wanted to. But to try and speed up my process, I figured there was only one option I could do. Go into creative and cheat all the shulker shells that way. Of course, I'm joking. What I actually did was I spent a whole 24 hours going from city to city to city, getting as many shulker shells and as many bits of loot food as I possibly can in that time, in the hopes of speeding up my effort and getting to where I wanted to be at this one point. Hello! It feels like literally forever since I've spoken to the camera right here, but I've been going out further and further and further, and I think pretty much a 10,000 block wide zigzag and going just in this direction over and over and over again, and as of right now, we're actually just over halfway done with this one challenge now. As you can see right here, we are currently sitting at 5,339 shells. And one of the other things I didn't really account for was all the other extra loot I'm actually getting during this one thing. Like seriously, over a stack and a half of ender chests, almost an infinite supply of armor and tools and things like that. And I mean seriously, what man needs almost 3 entire shulker boxes completely filled up with elytras? You know, I probably shouldn't be asking that. I mean, I am the crazy guy who's actually trying to get 10,000 shells. And can you imagine 10 years from now, the end being updated, and for some reason I didn't use some sort of like alternative way to actually clear out all these chunks, and then I have like a 40,000 by 10,000 area just of old end? That wouldn't be funny. It's just something I'm thinking about as I continually go out and out and out. Oh yeah, but one of the big issues I'm having right now is this 37-bit of bread right here is literally all the food I have left. And I know it's not going to be the end of the world, I can't eat chorus, but it's just going to make it so much harder having to teleport every single time I want to eat. I bet all the Java players watching me just laughing at me right now, the fact that I have to do all this manually, and they're just AFKing at their infinite shulker farms or something like that. And if any Java players are doing that, then have a little bit of pity on me. This is Bedrock Edition after all. Murdering these purple box trolls still is the only way to get the shells on Bedrock, but again, at least progress is still being made, and we fill up over a third of our next shulker box already. I'm almost at the point at which I literally can't carry any more armor or gear or things like that. Like seriously, just look at all this armor and gear and things like that I already have here. What do I even do with all this extra loot? Actually, what I could do is I could set up an entire shop where I sell all this extra armor and stuff. And seeing as this is a single player world, I'm almost bound to get lots and lots of sales, right? But it's not like I'd actually need any corporate ideas, because from the end cities we've been to thus far, look at all the diamonds we managed to get. Maybe I could use all these diamonds I'm getting from these cities to, I don't know, maybe make like beacons for every single mineral. If I'm ever in the mood and crazy enough to actually do another mega project like this, then it's possible. But future challenge ideas can wait, because right now we're actually busy filling up our 4th shulker box of shells, which means we only have 2 more shulker boxes left to fill. And it might not seem this way, but it's been over the course of 3 months of me working on this one video. And not once did I head back to the overworld, not once did I do anything else in this world. All I've been doing over the past 3 months is coming on and just shulker farming. I wonder if my friends, my family, and everyone's gonna even recognize me by the time I actually get home. Maybe a villager's done some identity theft and is just going around pretending to be me. Or, you know, because I've been gone for so long, I could have just been presumed dead or something like that. Who knows, it could happen. In other news, now I am completely and totally out of all the food I brought with me, which means I really only have one option in eating this chorus plant now. And I'm sure this whole teleporting thing won't get annoying at all. And so after another few hours of going to dozens and dozens of cities on this joyous yet repetitive journey, we've just about finished filling up our 5th shulker box, which means obviously we only have 1 more shulker box left to go. But I'm running into another problem I have right here, because after these 46 firework rockets, I can make maybe 2, maybe 3 more stacks, and then I'm out of those too. And I mean, there are ways on actually getting back home with like those end gateways, but in the case I don't find one of those, I'm gonna have to trek home, what is that, about 50,000 blocks. So I think it might be best to do some end city raiding in the direction of home, just in case that were to happen. And even though we only have 1 more shulker box left to go, that's still at the very least another few hours of end city raiding. And that's assuming we continually have the luck we've had so far in finding city after city after city, which at some points we have, and at other points we, sadly haven't. And with me slowly but surely starting to run on fumes right now, I'm not sure exactly if I can actually, you know, travel as far as I'd like to. But I'm not one who likes making excuses. I'm instead one who likes saying the facts. And the fact is that we're going to be way more conservative with our rocket usage now. About an hour later, and despite all this stuff, we're still making some pretty good progress. But just when I thought I didn't have enough problems, I am completely out of space in my ender chest. Which means the moment these few shulker boxes in my inventory gets filled up, we're going to have some pretty major problems then. I kind of feel like I'm finishing off something like, I don't know, a 100-meter sprint or something like that. Like, you have so much energy at the very start, but then as you continually go on and on and on, you sort of start to struggle here and there. So I guess what I'm trying to say here is, I am so glad this thing is almost over. Like, yeah, I'm excited to have all this loot and have essentially infinite storage now, but to get to this one point just takes so much out of you. But I guess in some ways there is that sort of charm in actually grinding out mega projects like these. And I guess there's also the satisfaction of finishing said grindy project. Speaking of which, another few hours later, and now we are closer than ever to the brink of completion. So as long as we get 2 and a little bit more stacks left, then we're done. Then we finished it all. And from the looks of things, we don't have to travel far to find a city that might actually do that for us. From the looks of things so far, we might need to find at least a couple more end cities. Yep, we're just shy of over a stack to go. Okay, 100%, this is gonna be the city. This is gonna be the one that's actually gonna fill up this final shulker box. And if it doesn't, then I literally give up. Okay, not really, but still. So, this city didn't give me all the shells I needed, but all I gotta do is finish this one stack, and then I'm done. Come on, just be the last one, and we did it. We actually did it. We finished. We're done. We have filled up the last shulker box. After over 3 months of almost non-stop end city raiding, we finally made it. But before we prematurely celebrate, let's actually head back home. It legit feels like years since I've been back at this main end island. In we go. And of course it has to be raining when I get back. But all that matters now is that we managed to successfully get over 10,000 shulker shells in survival. But for now, thanks for watching, and I am never doing another 3-month-long end city raid trip again.